Our next performance is a monologue entitled Whose Death... Oh, no, it's not. Our next performance is a monologue entitled The Woman Who Married Herself.
Although getting married was infinitely harder to pull off, getting divorced was what really changed my life. I do recommend it. It started when I was a student. Saturdays in the hostel were a flurry of activity as girls washed their hair and borrowed each other's curling wands. By 8 o'clock, a parade of satin and curls, the girls flowed down the stairs to greet matching boys. They'd go to the movies or to parties where they would dance all night to the culture club. Or they'd drive around the square in a slow queue. I tried it a couple of times. Marley jacked me up with her boy Sam's friend Andrew. She lent me a gold top with a scratchy neckline, and when I insisted on jeans, she squeezed me into her black stretch ones. Andrew was better looking than you'd expect for someone whose mate had fixed him up on a date, but then so was I. After the movies, we wound up in a darkened room round at the boys' hostel. I sat on Andrew's knee for a while, feeling foolish and heavy. When he tried to kiss me, I hissed, "Look, I'll pay you for the movie ticket." I handed him the $10 note I kept in my purse for emergencies, put my glasses back on, and walked home. Marley said that Sam said that Andrew wouldn't say what happens. I didn't either. And so Marley joined the dots to create a scene of wronged innocence. I looked vague and sad. For the rest of the year, Andrew only left his room to go to classes, and in the end, he got a first-class degree. I did him a favour, really. The girls rallied round and found me another date. Not a sex-crazed ruffian, they promised. So I went to a concert, orchestra, not rock, with Thomas, who had been head boy at Christ's. I wore my own clothes and kept my glasses on. The music was excellent, but afterwards, after a glass of wine, Thomas let slip that he'd lost a bet, and the forfeit was going out with me. He thought I knew and was hugely apologetic when he saw the look on my face. He insisted on driving me home. After that, I spent Saturday nights with Janice Murphy watching Sale of the Century. It was good to have the hostel lounge to ourselves, though the click of her knitting needles got on my nerves. Worse, though, was the pity on the girls' faces as they left with their dates. Janice, with her thick glasses and bobby pin hairdo, was a lost cause, but they thought I should make the effort. That's where Sebastian came in. He was tall and blonde and worked on his father's farm back home. We wrote every week, and when I went back for holidays, we had picnics by the rivers. I was evasive about what happened. He was, of course, entirely fictional. No Waitaki Valley farmer would ever dare call his son and heir Sebastian. But to the Mills and Boone imaginations of the hostel girls, he was perfect. And best of all, staying in on Saturday nights to write to Sebastian became a noble activity. After the holidays, the questions became more searching, and I started posting myself letters. At first, they contained blank sheets of paper that the girls' curiosity demanded that I read them extracts. Sebastian wrote a terrific love letter. They could tell I glossed over the racy bits, but a secret smile on my lips as I scanned the page. They were very jealous. Dear Sebastian, he stuck by me through 2 years of hostel life. I threw him over shortly before second year finals when I really didn't have time to be writing myself love letters. I was surprised how much I missed him, The girls were great. They took me up for ice cream, and I shed a few tears on Marley's padded satin shoulder. I completed my degree in single and seeking mode, and since single girls hunted in packs, I had a great social life. By the end of the night, the girls were usually too preoccupied to care that I went home alone. An occasional Sunday morning confession kept my flatmates happy. Working life was a shock. It was the hostel all over again. I took one look at the office pariah, a skinny guy called Donald, who hadn't thought to shorten his name, and decided I would definitely not be the butt of a myriad of cruel jokes. So, Robert was born. An old friend from uni days, he tracked me down through the internet, and after a torrid chat room courtship, we met up in a Wellington hotel, and initially, he was only in Auckland, working in a law firm. But when he went to Saudi Arabia, his stock definitely rose. It was easy at first. I didn't have to write his letters, as email has succeeded billet doux, which is a love letter. But I did recycle some of Sebastian's choicest lines to titillate the team over coffee breaks. It was the future that grew complicated. Students never planned the future, but my workmates were in a lemming-like rush to the altar. After the third wedding, I'm sure the bouquet throwing was rigged. I made no attempt to catch it. It was clear Robert needed to pop the question. I told the girls I was meeting Robert in Singapore for a week of romance. I took some leave and visited my sister in Oamaru. In Pasco's, I chose the flashiest diamond I could afford and proposed to myself in the car on the way home. With Peggy Lee singing, "Is that all there is?" on the radio. My rock was greatly admired on Monday morning, though I refused to have it examined up close. Some of those gold diggers really knew their diamonds, and I didn't want to be told that Robert was cheap. The ring brought a few months of peace while I was able to be evasive about the date, but Fiona, whose bouquet had nearly put my eye out last Easter, insisted on helping plan the wedding, and Caroline, her shadow, chimed in. Initially it was a bit of a laugh. I thought an island wedding would deter anyone from coming, so I brought brochures from the travel agents. We weighed up the relative merits of Sunset Beach versus Island Traditional. The traditional involved a local church and a gospel choir and a pig on a spit. Robert could have afforded it, but I pleaded vegetarianism. Carolyn thought the cruise package sounded romantic, married by the ship's captain like a pair of eloping Edwardians. I said that Robert had already booked a cruise for the honeymoon. Sunset Beach it was. Fiona and Caroline angled blatantly for an invitation. I said that since the new baby, my sister didn't feel up to air travel, and Mum and Dad had never been overseas, and they weren't about to start at their age. I said that Robert was an orphan and didn't like crowds, so would be very quiet. But they weren't put off. In the end, I took their details for a group booking. For a few months, the plot only needed minor adjustments, and after a while, there was nothing to talk about. All the mind-ravaging details which brides quarrel over with their mothers would be taken care of by the wedding company. Witnesses would be found if needed, and you could even hire the wedding dress. I imagined the dresses would come in layers of tropical sweat, and we all shuddered. The dress mission was mobilised to revive interest. Fiona came with me to shortlist, and I tried on 5 or 6 in a whirl of tulle and lace. She photographed them on her phone, and the girls all had their say. They were shocked when I said that I thought a silk dress, probably in blue or even red, would be more becoming, and I could use it afterwards. A wedding dress is not for using afterwards, they cried, making it